We just seen a lot of great stuff from OSW as a player this year, particularly in TEC. So hopefully they're able to continue the tirade they've been having this year. Most recently, I believe, taking that WPL championship last weekend. On when?
Yes. Again, had some very close sets. In fact, actually, I think the closest was winter semifinals. Was on a Game 7 situation versus Dorami. But that is not a great way to start off this round, unfortunately, and I think TIZAGO might be getting round 1. And yep, that is, again, way too much spaghetti at the top of the board for OSW. Again, a lot of times it may seem like it, but OSW often knows what they're doing. Unfortunately, with the way those eyepieces are going and everything else, not conducive to a lot of damage, and that is going to be a top out.
Yeah, OSW's looking to redeem this round. A little bit of a combo going through. They have a very interesting stack, and so it got very high before those Tetrises came in. Very curious to see how the zone attacks are going to go this time. This is OSW in this game. This is their first real opportunity to kind of pull through.
Oh,
and even with the misdrop, we got a surprise.
All right, and against TIZAGO, a little bit got cut off from the stack with a misdrop on the right. And so TIZAGO and OSW trading early top outs for our first 2 rounds.
We got the trade here. It's an even game at this point. TIZAGO is probably feeling a bit hyped up still from being able to take the first point. That is good for them in this scenario. But we'll see how long they can kind of hold on to that little momentum boost they've probably gotten the morale.
Alright, STSD there from OSW. TIZAGO going, again, very creative fix for the, I think that was the S-spin triple, if I'm not mistaken. Very quick zone from OSW. Does use a lot of that zone meter for not a lot of attack. So this could be a very strong volley that TIZAGO is going to be sending over. Able to find that ulti, but gets to 43. Not enough to start sending OSW some garbage.
Yeah, OSW is just so fast and so good at attack that you're going to need a fairly significant amount of damage to cause a scare there. Probably looking for 60s at the very least right here.
Well, again, we saw some of those zones again from Call Me Star the previous round. Like the 67 Ultimatris was essentially necessary just to stay alive, and then fortunately for them kind of led to advantage. But without that amounts of damage that we're seeing, like the consistent 60+ zone attacks, there's not really a lot of leeway that these players can have once OSW is done with their own zone attacks.
Speaking of an OSW zone attack, we had one end a little bit prematurely, but 41 attack in 13 lines is amazing. We have a 4-wide coming out from TIZAGO. This is a method of choice for some safe options for clearing out attacks from other players without use of the zone. Though with such a little amount of zone meter, no preparation for a longer combo, and OSW having their own little zone attack, I just don't think there's a path.
Yeah, and that was was that a half zone, I think, from OSW? Still got 40 out of the deck of Hexatris. My goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look at that. Huge stats across the board for OSW. 2 more points needed to take it back into Grands. A bracket reset is going to be needed if they want to beat Uyashoda, TIZAGO, or OSW. So we're going to see who gets that opportunity. Opting for a PC here maybe on TIZAGO's side, they're going to grab that a little bit. OSW's able to neutralize it. Zone meters are being built up for both these players at a fairly equivalent rate. We'll see how this develops.
Alright, and 3/4 zone. Interesting decision from OSW here. Gonna be enough to get to 19, 40+ on that zone attack. We will see the zone pop as well from TIZAGO. A little bit of the misdrop on the S-Mino, but still able to get that 19 for 45. Essentially keeping up pace with OSW. It seems to be working, but unfortunate misdrops.
Yeah, that's not what you want to see if you're TIZAGO. OSW's been great on the attack here. We got an Imperial Cross that if TIZAGO's not able to start getting down, it could pull curtains on this round. Luckily, they're able to go down. And we're seeing this happen here. We have some opportunities to downstack my T-spin triple tower from OSW get formed. Just really loving these. OSW really giving us some entertainment tonight here on the stream, folks. And TIZAGO's just needing to pull every trick out in their book to stay alive versus this pressure. Huge zone blitz. We have a full meter from OSW. Not grabbing all of the lines, but another 13 and 40 attack that's very proficient. And then TIZAGO's just having to use everything that they have to survive these quick blitzes.
And yeah, has a little bit of a mini downstack combo for that interaction, but again, it's just still just so much garbage coming in so quickly from OSW. And one of the other difficult parts as well is for a lot of other top players, they may be willing to kind of wait till they have a full zone to deliver a kill shot. OSW is extremely comfortable saying, oh, you don't have zone anymore? I only have a quarter zone, but I'm still going to send you another 35 lines with a quick little 2-wide combo. And it can really put players in a bind expecting to have some time to maybe farm up like a half zone or get a little bit more breathing room, as OSW just does, again, what they do best and just preventing you from playing your game.
Yeah, absolutely. Some phase 1 action going on. Early misdrops are not what you're going to want to see. If TIZAGO doesn't fix this fast, and luckily they're going through with it, OSW is going to pounce on the opportunity to attack. Luckily, both players have relatively clean boards. They both have the max zone meters, so TIZAGO's safe for now.
Yeah, and TIZAGO as well also has a really nice center wall that they're able to take advantage of. And it looks like she's in the process of doing so. There's the double Tetris. Fortunately, having to rely on a couple of skims at the later part of this zone, but still able to get to the 20-line ulti bonus. That's 51 lines of attack. And OSW already half a zone meter.
Yeah, a lot of TIZAGO's zones are just pushed to be defensive based on the cadence of OSW's attacks. When they're coming in, how much is coming in. It's really just letting OSW run away with the driver's seat here. TIZAGO's able to defend, and they're able to defend for a long time, even sometimes through phase 3, but we need TIZAGO to kind of flip the match a little bit, give a little bit of a surprise to OSW, let them take control on some of these zone attacks.
Alright, well, at the moment we're getting very close to phase 3. It looks like TIZAGO's going to be the player zoning first, as OSW.
Oh my god, OSW
creates a hole in this, a potential hole in the stack, but it turns into another floating T-spin double. The 73 curve just from TIZAGO into phase 3 might be what she needs to put OSW in a really bad spot. You can see with that Octorus, I think that has done its job, but it's not over, as OSW going to try desperately. And all right, TIZAGO grabs another round, actually outspeeding OSW. But that curve just into phase 3, again, we mentioned for Star, that was likely what Star's win condition was going to be. But in TIZAGO's case, where that speed disadvantage isn't as much of an impact, it is going to be more than sufficient to grab a round off of OSW and put things in a little bit more of a difficult scenario, as OSW now only 2 games away from potentially out at third. Ooh, but that is a pretty early zone from TIZAGO, though.
Yeah,
not
might
sure
have been
exactly.
a little bit happy on the trigger finger.
That is insanely greedy out of OSW, deciding not to take any of that garbage whatsoever from the zone attack.
Oh my god. And TIZAGO, on the contrary, tanked all of it.
Again, TIZAGO, I guess, answering greed with greed. The eye piece is unfortunately not going to pole vault over. Only able to use 1 on the down stack.
Yeah, these zones are just all going to be defensive again for a while. OSW again. Look at these TSTs, these crazy builds that they're pushing out.
Oh, mini T-spin single. Unfortunately, cannot get the second T-spin triple that they're looking for. Just with the given piece queue. Bit of an odd misdrop right now for TIZAGO. That is not going to be conducive in a lot of skims. I think this may be the final effort out of TIZAGO.
This is rough. They wanted to try to take the riskier fix and try and push a little bit of a combo out of it, I believe. But it's just not going to be possible. OSW will take the set. TIZAGO putting up a really good fight with some of those surprise attacks. catching OSW off guard a couple of times, but OSW will prevail.
And again, as you mentioned before, like a couple of those surprises, obviously, you know, the early top outs